All right, all right, all right. What's up, people? You are live with Mizz Moodie on blogtalkradio.com. And tonight, I can't even say night anymore because it's light outside. So this evening, I have, or afternoon, whatever y'all want to call it, I have Jordan Wiggins with me. Jordan, you with me right now?
Yeah, I'm here. What's going on?
All right. Tonight's topic is social media pet peeves. I know everybody's going to have an opinion on this one. I'm encouraging callers, people call in and tell us your social media pet peeves. All right, Jordan, this is your area of expertise. We are friends on Facebook, and I know you love to rant, so you go first. What do you hate about social media?
Well, what I don't like about social media is that, well, when it started, we had, MySpace and Zanga and all that stuff, and it's really, it's a good tool to promote yourself. It's a good tool to keep in touch with people, and now with it being commercialized, and now with corporations have Facebooks and Pepsi has a Twitter, and things like that. It seems like everything is just about promoting self as opposed to actually, staying in contact with people or actually trying to, improve relationships with people. It's all about promoting. It's all about, look at me, look at me, look at me, as opposed to, hey, how you doing? You don't really get those anymore. You get more of the, hey, look at these pictures of me in my bathing suit in a mirror with my duck face. That's why I have that going on.
Duck face pics. All right. So I'm gonna start getting more specific though. Yeah, it's definitely about self-promotion and all about self, which I don't necessarily, in moderation, that's not a bad thing, but I just kind of feel like, I guess I'm going to start with Instagram. It used to be a problem on Facebook, but I guess Instagram is a big thing now. So I don't want to see 500 pictures of your face. I know what you look like, especially like if you don't have something actually to promote. I mean, granted, okay, if you took a nice picture of yourself and you're feeling yourself that day, I don't have a problem with that. I don't want to see it 500 times in one day, though. That gets on my nerves.
Right. Yes. See, the thing with Instagram that I don't like is that, I think that the origin of Instagram versus what it's used for is totally far. The ideas are too far away. Like, I thought Instagram, when I first started it, was, a way to showcase your photography. Like, you see something that's cool, you put a nice little cool filter on it because you don't know how to Photoshop it, and you put it up there and it looks cool. Now, I go on Instagram, and I might scroll through 2 actual pictures of things, one of them being someone's face, and then it'll be like 20 quote-unquote pictures of text messages and, tweets and quotes and this and that. And nothing is actually of, an image anymore. Everything is all about, you have Textgram and Tweetgram and all those other different grams and stuff, and none of them are about actual photography. So that's my issue with Instagram.
I don't know. I'm not part of iPhone land. So I had an iPod. I got on Instagram kind of late in the game. So when I got on Instagram, I didn't know it was supposed to be about photography, but I just thought it was another social network. I don't really mind the text because I kind of feel like that's the Instagram version of a Facebook status. Like, people use it the same way they would use Facebook, and some of them are funny, but I don't know. I'm gonna get to my first caller.
Okay.
All right, Paula, what's up?
What's going on?
Hey. Okay. You don't have to introduce yourself again because you were on the other week. People, say hello to Greg. Greg, what don't you like about social media?
What I don't like about social media is it just really gives the people involved in it. It gives people like a false kind of just a false image, literally, really, of what what people's lives actually are. It could be used to to kind of cover up the bad things in people's lives, which can necessarily that can actually be a good thing to an extent. But, you know, when it goes overboard, you know, I don't really think that's a good thing. But, yeah, it just kind of just, you know, covers up, you know, a lot of flaws that people have, both literally and figuratively.
Oh, actually, you're bringing up an interesting point. Photoshop pics. Like, chicks be going ham these days with the Photoshop pics, trying to make their stomachs look flatter, trying to fix all their flaws. And I'm like, you know, celebrities have to do that kind of thing because, you know, they airbrush their pics in magazines and stuff like that. They have to do that thing because that's their livelihood. They're making money off of their physical image, especially models. But singers, actresses, whatever you are, you have to look good to sell whatever you're trying to sell. So they have to do that because they're getting paid for that. I don't see, that's false advertising. Like, if you photoshopping yourself and then dude, you know, hits you up and then y'all go on a date and you don't see the same person on Instagram, you think that's going to be attractive? Like, that gets on my nerves. Like, just be yourself. I mean, I think that's the point, is to be yourself. But, you know, people kind of lost sight of that. Everybody would kind of want to be a mini celebrity these days.
You know, I got a comment about Photoshop, actually. There's a girl who I follow. Well, we follow each other on Instagram. She lives out in California. A good, I'll say, 90% of her pics, that 10% maybe being the food that she posts. 90% of her pics are actually photoshopped, and it's like I knew something was weird about the pics, but I just couldn't quite put my hand on it until one of my friends, he pointed it out. Now, what she would do is, and she's not a fat girl. She's a slim girl, so I don't really know what she's doing it for. But what she would do, I noticed that her waist was just incredibly small. Like, you know, most girls want a small waist, but her waist was small to the point where it wasn't even attractive. It was like, you know, it just doesn't really look right. So then I looked at my friend, like I said, my friend pointed it out to me. And I looked around the picture. If there would be, a lot of her pictures would be in a bathroom, and in the background you'd see the doorway. So I would notice around the area where her waist was, I would look at the doorway, and I would see the doorway curving inward as well as her waist.
Wow.
So I'm like, I know doorways don't come made like that, so.
Wow.
Yeah. Like I said, this is on a good 90% of her pics. So I'm like, you know, it's like people will go to great lengths, you know, just to alter the image, even if, you know, most would say that the image doesn't even need altering.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right. I had somebody on hold for a minute, so I got to bring somebody else in the conversation. All right. Caller. Next caller. What's up? Introduce yourself. Hello. Okay.
All right.
Oh, wait. No. That's my bad. Okay. Caller. I thought I unmuted you, but I didn't. My bad. Caller, what's up?
Hello?
Yeah.
And can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, hey, what's up? This is Sham.
Okay, what do you not like about social media, Sam?
Ooh, hold on. I guess my biggest pet peeve with it is the fact that, like, people don't know how to talk to each other anymore. I think partially because of this whole thing of, like, you know, everybody thinks they're a celebrity, and they think, you know, everybody wants to have updates on, like, every little insignificant detail of their lives. Like, I don't care that, like, how you look when you wake up in the morning, which people are freaking out too. They're, like, doing their hair and combing, you know, putting on makeup and all this stuff. Like, oh, look at me, I just woke up in the morning. Oh, look at me, I just brushed my teeth. Like, oh, I'm going to the store. Oh, I'm cooking. And it's like, no one cares.
Okay. That could be a problem on Instagram and Facebook, but that was big on Twitter. Like, I know, oh gosh, there was one person in particular, like, they would put like 50 statuses about the same thing they were doing. Oh, so I'm driving to the store. Okay, so I'm driving out of the store now, and I just put the groceries in the trunk. Okay, so I'm driving around the corner. I'm like, yo, you said driving like 50 times. Like, I get it, you're driving. Like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
like, people putting themselves on blast. Like, oh, you know, I'm driving down Ocean Avenue. You know, I just made a right on like, you know, Clarkson or something, and now I'm making a left here, and I stopped at the grocery store. I'm like, so I think I got robbed that way.
I think people took the "what are you doing" question way too literally on that.
They took it way too literally. What I miss about Twitter is in the early days that it used to be about people who actually had something to say. Like, actually, all right, it still is about people who have something to say, because I'm not going to knock Twitter. Like, when an award show is on, or when the Super Bowl is on or something, like, Twitter is like the best place to be when something is on TV. But when something's not on TV, then it's just mostly a bunch of people either complaining about their problems, which is also a big Facebook problem. Not so much on Instagram, but though it does happen on Instagram too, but not so much on Instagram. But complaining about their problems, or just literally, there's no filter between what's going on in your head and that what you put on social media, so then shit gets way too personal. Now I'm gonna get to my next, my next pet peeve now. Which, okay, I'm not judging anybody because I'm guilty of doing it myself, but I try to tone it down because I kind of feel like as adults we should just communicate with each other directly, but I'm not that big on sub-statuses. Because I kind of feel like, I understand sometimes you're feeling really mad and you have to vent. So like I said, in moderation, I get it. But if I see two people going back and forth, like, for a whole day with sub-status, I'm like, yo, what do y'all need to pick up a phone and solve this on Facebook, Twitter, or whatever? Like, we're grown. Like, we gotta, like, I can't with the passive aggression. Like, if you got a problem with somebody, pick up the phone and tell them you got a problem with them. I don't want to see your whole argument. Like, what the hell is that shit?
No, my favorite sub-statuses will always be ... sigh, or ... long face. You know, it's just like, come on, like enough with the attention-grabbing sub-statuses. If you want to say what you feel, then say what you feel. And if you don't want to say what you feel, then don't say anything. But when you put out all those weird, wonky, emo statuses, and people, look at them or whatever, it kind of sends the wrong, it makes you look bad, in a sense, because you're not using social media to its fullest extent, and to its potential. You're just using it just because it's there, And back before we had Facebook and all the things like that, if I was upset at somebody, I would call them. Or I would call my friend. Or I would, tell whoever I had to tell that I was upset. But now, all I got to do is put 3 dots next to my name, and now you have to wonder if I'm upset, if I'm mad, if I'm happy, if I'm sad, and then, it's just too much. I can't do it themselves. I'm not.
Like I said, I'm not going too hard because I'm guilty of it myself. But another thing that gets on my nerves, though, because, I don't really see it in people in my generation, but I see the teens doing it a lot, where they would make a status saying, oh, my God, I'm in a bad mood, no hit-ups. Okay, right. If you don't want to talk to nobody, then don't talk to nobody. You're going to make a status to let people know not to hit you up.
Right.
I want to be
just
failure of communication.
Right.
If you don't want to talk, don't answer the text with somebody, or don't pick up the phone. You don't have to make an announcement.
I swear that I'm in a bad mood, and do not disturb me because my mood is not good. That is my declaration. That's what you're doing, essentially. You're just walking in the room and announcing that you don't want to be talking to. That's just, just a bit ridiculous to me.
And then what I kind of find discouraging is now the older generation is on Facebook too, and now they're doing the same thing. And I was kind of hoping that they would use social media more responsibly, but I've seen the older generation, husbands and wives, throwing subs at each other. Like, if y'all are married and y'all live in the same house, y'all shouldn't be throwing subs at each other. You shouldn't be throwing subs at nobody you live in the house with anyway. But I'm seeing husbands and wives. I'm seeing fathers, parents, and children. I'm seeing siblings are right. That's fine. That's within the same generation. But I'm like, I've seen a parent throw a sub at, their daughter, and I was just like, I can't believe this is happening. Over 50 years old, throwing subs. That's no, don't do that.
That's a very big disconnect. If you're a parent and you're throwing sub statuses about your child on Facebook, then there's something wrong. There's something very, very wrong.
Yeah. They'd probably be in the same room while they're updating their status.
Actually, well, okay, me and my mom text each other while we're in the same room. But
my mom will call me in the same. My mom will call me in the same house. But, it's not like she's calling me from my hospital manager. If she wants to tell me she's mad at me, she'll tell me she's mad at me.
Right. Usually my mom would be downstairs and I'll be upstairs. She's like, you want a food? And if I don't answer, she'll call me. But anyways, that's a whole different topic. Okay, what I want to know is how does I read an article that I think Facebook, I kind of feel like over the course of time, Facebook is making more and more information free and available to people, and I think it could be potentially dangerous. And I think I read an article that I think Facebook is going to have like a sister app of some kind where you can like track people, I guess, track your Facebook friends and see where they are at the moment. And I think they're going to gather the information about where you are, I guess, and use it to advertise as well. Like if they see you went into Rite Aid like 5 times, they're going to start sending you mad Rite Aid advertisement. I don't know. I mean, both Shamara and Jordan, y'all both follow me on Twitter, so you saw when I posted the article. So
yeah,
how do y'all feel about that? Do you feel like Facebook is asking for a lawsuit at this point?
I mean, my brother is watching. Okay.
All right, wait, Jordan first.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. It's kind of, it's scary because Big Brother is, like she said, Big Brother's always watching. And that's kind of what social media has, kind of the curse of social media is that because it's so popular, all that people want to do is find a way how you can make money off of it. So now with all the advertisement that's supposedly going to happen, your activity is going to be monitored. That's a lot. I mean, also what you have, different other social medias like Foursquare or even with Instagram where you can tag places that you've been to and all kinds of things like that. You kind of put it up, like you kind of put it on yourself in a sense. If you don't notify Facebook and essentially the world where you are, then they can't track you. They can't find out where you are if you're not posting about to get fit in the gym at Planet Fitness.
No, yes, you can. They absolutely can. Every time I don't know if you can turn it off, but I know every time I see somebody's status, it also says where they were when they updated the status in Brooklyn, New York, in Queens, in the Bronx, in North Carolina, and whatever. Like, it always has some type of tracking. On top of that, I think when you're sending messages now, you can see if the person sent it. That's another thing that gets on my nerves because I'm like, I don't always want people to know if I read the message or not, because sometimes I'm not always able to reply right away. Then people are going to feel a type of way if I didn't answer them right away in 2 seconds that they saw that I sent it. But that's another situation. But even when I'm from my computer on a house computer or on on an actual desktop, it will say where I was when I updated my status. So Facebook is always looking at where you are. And so they can easily get that information of where you're at. And I think they said even if you're not on the app, they can still figure out where you are. And now other people are going to be able to track you. And I'm thinking, my opinion is, one, they're asking for a lawsuit because I'm just waiting for somebody to get stalked and killed off of Facebook. On top of that, that's going to ruin relationships. Like, dude is going to say, oh, I'm going over here with my homies. And then next thing you know, Facebook is going to say he's over in some next place where some next chick live or something like that. Like, it's getting too ridiculous with it now, and I'm like, some girls are gonna like that because it's gonna make it easy, or some girl that you're trying to dodge, or some guy that's stalking you, you're gonna try to dodge, could easily find you on Facebook and come do something to you. Like, they're asking for a lawsuit if you're asking me. But okay, Greg, you've been quiet for a minute. What do you think?
Well, I'm actually not too familiar with the with new that's going on Facebook. I'm actually just listening and getting the information because I don't even know what's going on.
They didn't do it yet. It was an article saying they were developing, I guess, a new app that could possibly do that. I don't know if it's ever going to come into being because, I guess with it getting some publicity, I don't know if people are too happy about it, but they were thinking about it for advertising reasons because they want to look at where you're going and then send you advertisements based on that. So
it's really playing off of people's narcissism, like how Jordan's saying, oh, I'm about to hit the gym, or I'm going here, I'm going there. And just taking advantage of it, I think
I'm saying it's different because even if you're not updating your status, at the moment, even if you're not checking in somewhere, it's always going to, as long as you have the app on your phone, it's always looking at where you're going, basically.
Oh, no.
And mobile devices, I would delete that shit in a minute. I can't, that's just too much.
Absolutely not. That's
if
not
they
cool
really
at
came
all.
out with this app, I'd have to delete it off my phone. Like, it's just too much.
So, Greg?
I wouldn't want that. I mean, really, there's nothing that that I would want to get advertised to me that I can't go find myself from anywhere. Like what you said about the Rite Aid. If I go inside Rite Aid 5 times a day, I don't. Obviously, I'm going inside Rite Aid, so if I'm going in there 5 times a day, I must know something. So I don't need Facebook to send me, any information about it based off of my location. And I don't agree with that.
All right, Shamara, you started talking a little bit, but you can elaborate.
On this whole like tracking technology, I mean.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. It's really bugging me out because I'm like, even the phones themselves, like sometimes you call. Well, I don't know. My father was telling me something like that. Like it shows you
my phone it does that.
Yeah, location.
Remember, actually, okay, like, personal story. Remember, I did that to you. I called you, and the thing is, it's not always accurate, which is another thing that gets people in trouble. But I remember I called you one time, and you were near Queens, but you weren't in Queens. But my phone said you were in Queens, and I'm sorry. Do you want me to put your personal information? Okay, someone close to you lives in Queens, and I was like,
go ahead.
Huh?
I said for the sake
her boyfriend lives in Queens. So her boyfriend lives in Queens, so I'm assuming that I was interrupting something, so I texted her talking about, haha, I know what you're doing or whatever. And she's like, I'm not in Queens. I'm like, oh, I knew that. But anyways, I didn't really enjoy knowing where people were when I called, because then it kind of set my imagination running, like, what are they doing right now? Oh, this person is whatever. But I'm like, I guess that's technology in general. I can't just blame social media for that, because now, again, phones could have, all of them have GPS. You can track wherever the hell anybody is, basically. But yeah, on my phone, when I call people, it doesn't do it anymore, so I think I turned it off. But, it used to tell me where people were. But, Facebook always knows where you are.
And that alone can get people in trouble, because, like you said, like, if you think someone's in a certain location, and then, like, your imagination's running wild, like, well, what are they doing over there? I mean, I thought they would be in Brooklyn, or I thought they'd be in Manhattan at the time. Yeah. It's just really invasive.
And that's what I'm saying. If this Facebook thing comes into play now, like, I'm just going to see more sub-statuses about this nigga said he was going to be over here and he over there. What's with that? Or now, okay, here's another problem with technology now. With screenshots, you can't hide nothing you said to nobody or nothing like that. So even if you post a status for 2 seconds and then realize that you don't want nobody to know where you are and then delete it, all somebody had to do was post a screenshot and then send it to you, like, look at what you did. Like, it makes it easy for people to stalk each other.
People be posting screenshots of conversations. Like, that's just, wow.
Yeah,
your business is out there all day. Like, oh my God. That's another social media. Huh? Right. Go ahead.
Be like, like, look what this 30 niggas, sent to me or whatever. And it's like, right. Did you have to put him on blast?
Oh, God, that's a whole new way. I don't like when people are, like, intentionally going above and beyond to embarrass people, because I saw that on Facebook where somebody posted a screenshot, and they wasn't even following the person on Instagram. That's why I was like, that was a punishment, because I'm like, if you're going to call them out, at them. Let them know that you're calling them out. They're like, what is this person doing? Texting me at such and such a time, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, they don't even know you're posting that. So you're trying to look big in front of people. And they don't even know you posted that.
But you know, a lot of things with social media is that it creates a false reality, too, because people can create whatever they want. And without burden of proof, I could say, oh, I'm balling so hard right now, and meanwhile, I'm really not. But because I put it up all the time, that's what people are going to start believing, because that's what my history is going to show. And also with people like posting up stuff like, oh, why you hit me up all the time tonight? I could just be saying that because I really don't have nobody hitting me up, but I want people to think I have somebody hitting me up so that I can get likes. It's just it's a trap game. It's a trap.
Oh well, yeah. In my younger days, like in MySpace days, I was very guilty of trying to make it look like my life was harder. And like the beginning of Facebook pictures, because shout out to everybody who remembers when Facebook was college only. They didn't always have the pictures, but when Facebook got the when Facebook got the albums, well, okay, the first set of albums, I wasn't lying, but those parties were really as hot as they looked for anybody listening to me. But I mean, okay, I have another personal thing. My 21st birthday, I remember I was tight that not as many people as I wanted showed up, but those pictures were fly. Okay. I was like, they were going to look like they missed out on something. Like, I didn't care. But now when I see pictures, I'm always skeptical. But I'm looking, I was like, was your party really that hot? Or was you just taking a bunch of pictures and making it look like, pictures always make it look like it was hotter than it was. So,
usually, I mean, when you're having fun, you're not, like, taking, like, moments to take pictures every 5 minutes, you know? Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if your party was really, okay, I'm going to sound like I'm putting people on blast. Please, nobody take this personally. I'm not talking about anyone in specific because, I'm friends with a lot of party promoters and DJs and all that. I'm not talking to nobody specific. But, damn, I forgot. Oh, if your party was really hot, people shouldn't have time to take all them pictures. If I see more than, like, 4 or 5 pictures, like, okay. In your newsfeed, if I see, like, 10, 12 pictures, then you wasn't dancing. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Usually when you go out to parties, if it's that fun, you're not thinking about getting your phone or getting to your camera and taking pictures about, I need to show everybody how crazy this was. You usually put a status up after something that was crazy, you have to be there, But like, I see people that post up pictures with like, 60 to 70 to 80 pictures of one event. And I'm like, so when did you actually do anything? You just posed for, the time that you were there.
Right. But then again, I feel like the dynamics of parties changed from when we were teenagers. Because like when we were teenagers, obviously we didn't have all of this. But, we didn't dress up as much as we did when we went to parties when we were teenagers. You was going to dead. You was going to be in somebody's basement and crazy stuff was going to go down. But like now that we're older, we're old enough to drink, it's all about dressing up. So, I mean, I understand taking pictures to some extent because you want people to see the outfit. Because I'm big on that too. I'm like, I'm looking fly. People need to see what I'm wearing right now. But, so normally in the beginning while the party's whack and everybody's standing on the wall, that's when you take your pictures. But if I see you uploading pictures the whole night, that means you wasn't dancing. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. So any other thoughts, people?
That's quick. Half hour.
Oh, we still have a minute and a half left, so that's why I'm asking. I mean, I can't think of anything off the top of my head right now. I think I touched upon everything that gets on my. Okay, I'm gonna get back to older people on social media too. I mean, I touched on it with older people in the sub, but I also get disappointed when I see older people basically acting the same as younger people. Like again, if you're pushing your 40s and beyond, I don't want to see like 5,000 pictures of your face either. I've seen older people doing that, and it gets on my nerves when older people do the whole selfie. Look at me, look at me, look at me, and I'm just like.
I've seen a picture of this older guy take a selfie of himself in the bathroom mirror with his haircut. And it creeped me out.
Oh man, yeah. Okay, I have 30 seconds left now, actually, so I'm gonna have to cut this short. Thank you, everybody who called. Thank you, Shamara. Thank you, Greg. Thank you, Jordan, for being my co-host. Thank you, everybody out there that listened. And next week, I'll have Jamel Henderson. We'll be talking about do you think government has gone corrupt? So make sure y'all tune in for that. I'll see y'all next week.